to another episode in the Coffee of the 10-Star Home series by SUHO, here in the 10-Star Home in South Australia. I've got with me today Shawn and Dave from Revolution Roofing to talk about their engagement in this project and why the type of product you put on the roof is important for an energy efficient home. Welcome guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice. Yeah.
So before we get into a little bit more detail, can you guys explain a little bit to the viewers what you guys have actually supplied on this particular project?
Yeah, so a fair bit of the external cladding on this, especially on the front of the facade of the building, is our Maxline product. Maxline is our own profile, which is specifically used for roofing and cladding. So very strong product for the roof as well as a cladding product. There are many cladding products out there, but we believe that the Maxline is probably the strongest product you can use as a roof. You don't need any substrate underneath it, which is the bonus. But we also supplied the roof, so the roof is what we call our Rev Clip product, which means we can get it right down to a low pitch. So the Rev Clip will go down to a 1 degree pitch, which is based on the size of the pan and the ribs letting the water flow come off it.
We're probably going to talk a little bit more about that later because I, for instance, don't really have a clue what you just talked about. Yeah. Maybe the viewers also don't. But I definitely know that if you've seen any of the videos or the pictures of the 10-Star Home, that beautiful black cladding on when you come at the home is a very, very visual impact that you immediately have. So that's where you guys have come in, obviously, and that's what we're seeing here, right? Yes. I saw you pointing at it, Shawn. Yes. That's a product that we've got as well. So we'll talk a little bit more about the details and how that works.
Sure.
First, obviously, we are really excited to have you guys on board with this whole project. But for people that are watching this, why did Revolution Roofing get on board? Like, what is your besides the obvious look? I mean, there's obviously some marketing value in joining this kind of project. But this is a concept car. It's never been done before in South Australia. How did that connect to your?
I just think that it's an exciting project that a 10-star concept has come to South Australia. You certainly see it's a project for the future, so you certainly see more and more companies going the green way, and we just want to get on board there and help any way we can.
So from Revolution Roofing as a company, so how does sustainability come into your day-to-day business? So how did you try to implement that? Is it something that you give a lot of attention? Is it something that you see the market asking more for?
So as far as sustainability goes, I guess steel is a product that's recyclable. There's a lot of talk in the market about the different colours, colour absorbances, and what colour you should be putting on the roof for heating and cooling. I guess as far as a cladding product goes, obviously a lot of the insulation comes from the heat absorbance comes from the insulation of it. But as far as
but everything's locally made, so that's a big thing. Our paint's all made from Victoria, so we're not buying imported paint. We roll form here, so a big part of our process is to keep as much as we can made in South Australia, and that's probably where we like to try and support companies like yourself, because it's trying to keep lower carbon emissions and stuff like that by keeping things made here. So we're a big believer in that. Hence why we've moved into a next steel colour spectrum, because all the colours are coming from Victoria, and the actual paints have a lower solar absorbance value than what our opposition are doing. So a lower solar absorbance means lower energy being used. Hence the R values are reduced. So hence why we think when we see stuff like what you guys are doing with 10-star homes, we can like to back that, because we feel we've got a better product.
Plus we like to believe from SUHO, like we're the largest and oldest in our particular industry, and we've been around for a while. We certainly not the cheapest in the market. We're a more premium provider of that service, and I think we've really tried to connect with likewise companies in their respective fields, and that's obviously what Revolution Roofing definitely represents. And I think that's a really great, very natural sort of symbiosis between the two companies. So really, really awesome. So when I'm talking about sustainability, people typically think about energy efficiency and all that kind of stuff. But for me personally, I'm also really thinking about durability.
Durability, sure.
The fact that how long can a product like this last? Like what's on your roof, what's on your cladding, how often do you need to? Is that the lifetime of a house? How does that work in terms of how durable is a product like this?
Yeah.
I come from the Netherlands, so we put brick,
Yeah,
random
sure.
tiles on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
roof. So I've never
Yeah.
seen, quite frankly, I've never seen
Well,
this type of roofs ever before in my life until I came to Australia.
Yeah.
So what is the whole,
I don't understand. I'm not sure why that is, or whether there's just been no one innovative to bring steel roofs to Europe,
Yeah.
whether it's the insulation is.
It's yeah.
But so the warranties of the products.
I'll just get you down so you can see it better. Sorry.
The warranties of the products. I guess we can talk a little bit about the warranty of the product.
Yeah.
So if you're using, and a lot's to do with the paint that you put on the product as well.
Right.
If you look at the steel roofing around the state, you'll see a lot of old roofs dating back to the early 1900s. So
Right.
the steel has that longevity use.
So that's how long it's been used
Yeah.
already as a product.
Yeah, so we have these two products. That's a standard piece of roof iron. So that's pretty much what's on the majority of any home that's been built in the last 60 years. Pre-1940, pre the war, this was the main corrugated that was used. So you can see it's a bit higher. So a lot of the old homes around Prospect, the old Adelaide Jail, all those heritage this is the main. So we brought this back as a standard product. We're now selling probably 60% to 40% of the standard. Yeah. And the advantages of that is, you can see the deeper grooves. So what that does is gives you better water flow.
Right.
Actually makes it a much stronger product. So you can walk. We say that's 40% stronger than what that is when you're walking across it. You can certainly note it. The roofer certainly notices it when they're walking across it.
Okay.
And that product will go down to a 3-degree pitch, whereas this one goes on a 5-degree pitch. So that pitch level, quite often you'll see behind a parapet wall, you might see a more commercial type product where the water flow can flow through it. But I guess this gives a more consistent look from your front door, lower story to your upper story. Yeah.
Okay. And how long does it? What is the
Yeah,
warranty?
warranty.
Kind of
So,
products? Like, what are we talking
so
about?
normally you talk about there's two when it comes to steel-based products, whether it's roofing or cladding. The two major warranties that the market are only aware of is what they call paint perforation, and peel and flake. So, and the maximum you'd get for corrugated within the metropolitan area, so that means you're at least 5 kilometres away from any sort of coastline, is 36 years.
36 years.
36 years. So the supply talks about it. How long does it take for the paint to break down to the point where the substrate of the steel is perforated to the point where you can see through it?
Okay.
So once you've finally seen through it, that is done.
Yeah.
So our biggest opposition, I won't mention name on camera, but we talk about the maximum warranty the market knows is a 36-year warranty.
Yes. Okay.
But that is, in the roofing grade, it's always, residential grade, it's always been 0.42 of a mil thick. Now, commercial grade is always 0.48 of a mil, even though it doesn't sound like much.
Okay.
0.6 of a difference
Yeah.
is actually a massive difference from a tensile, because 0.48 is high tensile, so the warranties will be longer.
Yeah,
But
of course, it
when
takes
you
longer before.
Yeah, but when we talk wall cladding is being, the market's always been in what we call 0.6 of a mil. The residential market, like the top what we've got here, is 0.6. We can go to 0.8 for schools and commercial facilities as such. So now those warranties will be a little bit longer, because we're talking about how long does it take for the steel from flaking from the top till it perforates through.
Yeah.
Being a thicker base metal, you're going to get, somewhere in the 40 years plus. But the thing is, I guess with these types of things, it's people get more concerned about when does the paint die, when does the paint start to fade, when does the gloss go. And a lot of times when you look at corrugated roofs, which makes up the majority of South Australia, most people aren't concerned about holes, because you don't get holes. They're concerned about when does my Manor Red look white.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's
so
the time.
When you talk about longevity and durability, it's not the product failing. It's
the
about
product doesn't fail itself.
Yeah.
It's the colour that goes.
Colour.
Yeah.
You see a lot of it. It's called jailbirding, because you see where the battens are, and you can see the colour fades in certain areas where the sun's hit it. So it's the colours the issue. So
the colours the issue. Which obviously there's a lot of possibilities now in terms of colours. I know that you guys have just bought some new paints that you just talked about. And obviously, there's obviously a difference between the different colours in terms of how long they probably last as well, I would imagine.
Yes, so with our paint, so we give 42 years, so compared to 36 for when the paint will perforate through. And when we talk about peel and flake, because polyester paint on whether it's wall cladding or corrugated, polyester paint will always get hard. And when it gets hard, peel flakes. Like a car, have you seen cars where you look at this old bonnet and it has this big circle that seems to be expanding?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's because the paint's become so hard that it becomes brittle, and then it starts to flake away and create. So that's the same thing that happens as well with steel. So because we use a much superior paint, we add silicon and polyester together, not just pure polyester, which is what the whole of South Australia know. That allows more flexibility. Hence why our peel and flake is 30 years. So you wouldn't expect these walls to have any noticeable flaking for at least 30 years.
Wow. Okay, so definitely ticking the longevity box, which I think for me personally is also really important for when it comes to sustainability, because you want to make sure that when you put something down, you put all that resource in it and all this energy in it to put it down, that it can last for appropriate amount of time. And when we're talking about colors, when it comes from energy compliance perspective, which is what SUHO is known for, roof colors are actually quite important when it comes to energy efficiency. The solar heat gain is important. You can imagine if you're in a climate zone where there's a lot of sun, having a dark roof will obviously absorb that heat and will warm up that house, whereas a light colored roof will allow you to get, or in colder climates where you want to capture that warmth a little bit more, you want to have that darker roof color. So how much are you guys involved in that kind of decision making with clients?
It's quite with the clients. There's not a lot. There's quite a lot of education. It's interesting getting around with the new colours. I guess we have 4 or 5 new white colours, which haven't been new in the market before. There's only been one white. So now we have 4 or 5 new white colours. There's quite a lot of new dark colours. And it's interesting getting from the Adelaide Plains, talk to builders just up in the hills, half an hour away, or down in Middleton, and they all have different requirements for their colours as far as getting that approvals.
Well, of course, like the moment, also for the viewers, the moment you put more insulation in your roof, like we've got R10 in this particular 10-star home, you really can take any color you like, because whatever the sun puts onto the home is already being, basically blocked by the insulation. Which is a benefit from a, design perspective. You can go for any color you like. But if you look at the commercial space, for instance, where the new code has just changed.
The 60J.
If you want to go DTS, there's literally up to 0.45. And otherwise, the code will not even accept it. So you can't even go
that's right.
dark. Light is the only thing
that
you can do. So there's definitely...
Hence why I think the biggest selling colour in Australia is the white. The surf mist. So because that's on so many commercial buildings.
So
would you expect more lighter colours to become available because of that code changing and people wanting more flexibility in terms of?
We have more colours in our range that are under 0.45 than what our opposition have.
Right.
We have colours that are in 0.023, which is very low. With, for example, Fraser Mate, this one here, it performs. There's a colour in the market called Coolmax. It's most commercial buildings that want to reduce the energy efficiency would use Coolmax because it has an R value of 0.23. It's ridiculously expensive. There's a lot of large minimum order quantities to buy that because it's not a standard colour. Because we use a superior paint and ceramic pigments that sort of diffract the heat off the substrate, we have standard colours that are performing so low. So we have 8 colours in the range, so all of them plus these 2 that are in that sort of low 20s, low 30s, and even so that's hence why we think
I just wanted to mention because I feel for people it's important to know that roof color does matter. And if you look at the star ratings on like the higher your star rating gets, the less impact it's going to have. But in Australia, 6 stars is the current sort of minimum standard. In a 6-star home, the roof color has a big important impact. So definitely make sure that you don't just blindly think, oh, what do I think is a good looking color? I get it, but it's your roof ultimately, right? It's not something you look at every day. We're going to look at it in this video, thanks to you guys drone shooting some of the roof, but normally I wouldn't be able to see it, and I'm nearly 2 meters tall. So whether you have light or dark, it doesn't necessarily have to matter. And if you're in the hills, you might want to have that dark roof because you want to capture that heat a little bit more. It's a good passive measure to help your energy efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this product is so important to know a little bit more about. When we started the video, you talked about the roof and the clippings and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to a Dutch guy who's never seen this kind of roof before. So what were you talking about? Can you explain to the viewers and myself?
Well, I guess with the cladding products, so we've got a couple of cladding products here. Traditionally, there would just be a small clip that clips around here and screws into a batten, and then you're just pushing one of these onto each other to connect into place.
Right.
So they're just sitting on the bracket and pushed in. So you can use these as a face cladding on a building quite easily. But if you're putting these products, so there's 2 or 3 different profiles here, but if you're putting these products on a roof, you generally need a substrate, so like ply underneath them, to make them strong enough. And that's the advantage of the Max line, so you don't need to put ply underneath it, because they have they go through a roll form machine, which makes them very strong, and they have a batten in the back covering the whole base. No ply is required for this, so there's quite a bit of cost saving in using the Max line, apart from the fact that as it looks out the front, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks amazing. No, excellent.
A big part of, I guess, understanding why you use a conceal fix and why you wouldn't. So, when you look at corrugated, so corrugated on the roof is it's crest fixed. So it's through there. So then you essentially have an underlap and overlap.
Yeah.
So when you look at something like that, and the pitch of the roof is always based on how deep the valleys are.
Of course, yeah.
And if you have a 1 to 50 year storm, if water fills that valley to the point where it's actually at the same height as the crest of the roof, then it's going to put pressure. The water's going to put pressure on underlap overlap.
Yeah.
So hence, and I guess the methodology behind understanding what's best for the roof is that the lower the pitch, the wider the pan should be and the higher the lip should be. When you've got a panel like this and a wide tray, so for something like that, for water to get into this, the water actually has to get over here and climb and get into this space. So, and then it has to travel up and then get into the cavity. So something like this can go down to 3 degrees, but like a Rev Clip, King Clip, Clip Lock, they've got a 42 mil rib height.
Wow.
So it's quite high, and it's a needle rib, and the underlap almost goes up to the exact same height. So again, something like that would go down to a 1 degree, because it's all about, if you had the 1 to 100 year storm, if water's filling the tray, how hard is water able to get into that and travel back through?
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's where, and having conceal fix is because water's filling the tray. Can water then affect the neoprene washers? Can it put pressure on the rubbers? Can it get through all of the penetration? So having conceal fix means there is no possible way water can get in, only by getting underneath into the. So hence why when you look at a profile that's rev span, span foam, or rev clip, it's all based on how wide is the tray, how much water can it flush, how big is the rib. If it's quite a big rib, it generally means you can take it down to 1 degree. And that's I guess that's the concept. Of understanding why things are the way they are.
So whether you have this kind of rib or you have the big things, it's all about the water being able to go.
And the wider the trays obviously means it means more water can flush through it. And the higher the rib means that the harder it is for water to get underneath and into the underlap and overlap. Hence why corrugated can only go to 5, because it's so shallow. And there's not a lot of room for water to sit there, so then the underlap and overlap can have lots of pressure being placed on it when you do have a big storm. Hence why minimum pitch is 5 degrees.
Makes sense.
That's hopefully that sort of answers.
No, definitely. Well, just wanted to get a bit of an understanding of how this works, because I always like to use these videos as well as an opportunity to educate people a little bit about the different products that your normal, average Joe doesn't necessarily deal with in their lives or know much about. So thanks for that. So I always like to talk in this series a little bit about the future, right? So we're sitting in a concept car. This is a house that we're expecting, not to come onto the market in the near future, but certainly what could be moving forward as a sort of inspiration. When we're talking about roof and cladding for the walls. What is, in the industry, what's happening right now? What do you think is the next innovation in the coming year or two? What's going to come on the market? And if we're thinking even further than that, what do you think? If anything's, if you have a magic wand, what would be an awesome kind of product to have?
It's interesting working for Revolution Roofing because we're known for our innovative products.
Revolution, I would imagine.
Yeah, Revolution.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
So our director is very passionate about bringing new products to market and new innovative machinery for our factory. So you walk through our factory, you'll find, although we have 130 staff in South Australia, it's a South Australian company, also have a big plant over in WA, but although there's a lot of staff there, there's a lot of it very automated.
Right.
And you can see the difference that automation makes in some areas of the factory compared to others. But on top of that, he's very passionate about looking what's going on overseas and bringing that to, hence the new products like the Max line. We've just brought out the new paint lines. So for us, that's the future at the moment. There's been no colours brought to Australia for 7 or 8 years. There hasn't been any introduction of new colours, so we've just introduced.
And this is really recent.
We're talking
Past 5 weeks.
Yeah, we're talking weeks, right?
Yeah, we're talking weeks. Yeah.
So that's your traditional, the color bond colors that everyone knows about. There's actually now other options that you can look at. So that's definitely an innovation.
Yeah.
When we're talking about Magic Wand, I think you started to a little bit when I said that. What is the first thing that came to mind? Were you thinking,
I'm just scared.
what could be crazy? What could be awesome? What could be energy efficient? What could be?
Well, you're talking about. I heard of amazing figure. 1 in 4 homes in Australia now have solar power in them. So so you think that's only just going to carry on. That technology is just going to get. So when you're talking about your roof coverage, I think 10 years ago you wouldn't have seen very few solar powers, but now 10 years later, we're talking 1 in 4. So, and that's only going to increase. You can see the government will be backing.
How does that impact roofing though? Because we're talking about picking your colors and all the stuff we talked about. But if you now put a whole bunch of solar panels over it, first of all, your color's going to get far less relevant.
Yeah.
Because you're covering it with other stuff.
Yeah.
There's implications when it comes to water flow and stuff because you've got another barrier on top of it.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect
How
it
does
too
that?
much. Because solar panels are always mounted above the ribs, so the valleys are never affected. It can't be, otherwise it'll void the warranty. So, I guess it's one of those tricky ones because we sell quickly tin. If that changed, where would we be?
Of course.
As much as we want to see change, we are in the steel business, so we would like to continue selling steel in some capacity. But you're right.
Steel is obviously can capture heat. It's a good conductor, right? So when I'm thinking future, and again, I'm not in your market, I'm thinking, look, and we talked about it a little bit pre-interview, how Elon Musk has put on the market now these roof tiles that actually have solar panels inside of them. And I've worked with clients back in the Netherlands. You might have heard of them, Avery Dennison, very famous, for their paints as well and stuff like that. They've got car paint right now that can self-heal. So make a scratch, there's a little nano technology in there, and it closes itself again. They're looking at the ability for paints to capture solar. If I'm thinking, I'm not thinking 1 year from now. I'm thinking, why not? It's a product. It's still one that have the paint. Conduct the heat and take the heat and use that as a way to warm the water or
exciting stuff. So I guess we have the ability because we're more of a boutique. Basically what we have is a paint line in Newcastle, and we do a lot of individual painting for certain customers. Orange roofs. Recently did the Norwood Oval down here in red and blue, the footy colours. So we're very flexible to be able to paint those new paints, and there's a lot on the market coming out. So you did right. We've got new paints that we're looking at with the same as the cars over your roof, where it's kind of like a plastic covering where you'll get 50-year, 60-year warranty, and they're talking about not those colours not breaking down for 60 years once they go on.
I reckon what we'll probably see is that if we were going to stay in business and still be something, I've possibly putting, having, like David was talking about, because we've got some paint systems that doesn't allow colours to change for 50 years.
Yeah.
Right. But then also putting like a clear camouflage film, like a solar panel sticker.
Yeah.
Not a solar panel.
Yeah.
And the solar panel actually takes the shape of the panel, but it doesn't actually change the colour of your sheet.
Yeah.
So something like that. I have heard about this because I do a lot of presentations at Constantly Tape, and they were looking at using solar panels that were almost like stickers.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
and I've even had with Windows now.
Yeah.
Back in the Netherlands, I did a project where the windows were capturing solar.
Yeah. So like photovoltaic energy.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
I think everything that we think currently it seems a bit odd, but maybe 10 years from now, this thing is just going to be collecting energy as well.
Yeah.
Right? So and you just put it on the roof or on your wall, and the whole house becomes one big.
I like that because then we'll still have a job.
Exactly. Well, same goes for us. Everyone starts making very.
I think it's very exciting what Elon Musk is doing in the solar space as far as roofing. But yeah, there was a lot of noise about it, 4 or 5 years ago. But I don't know whether other.
I don't know what the
the
latest is. But
I've certainly been trying to keep on top of it, but there's not a lot of noise about it lately. So I wonder whether he's concentrating on his rocket.
For me, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you've got a roof, and then now you're chucking on top of it, you're putting out something else on top of it. It doesn't feel very logical or efficient. Can we not make a roof system with steel? Steel is a more practical product, and you wouldn't expect ceramic to be the one that is not a very practical, cost-efficient product to do that with, but certainly steel would be. Can't you make like a system that integrates that solar capturing? Because energy efficient homes is as much about reducing the amount of energy that you need as well as actively collecting it. It's a balance of both. So this home in itself, we just looked at the diagnostics, it's barely using a kilowatt, right? Yeah. So it's very energy efficient. So you don't even need much in terms of collection in order to keep on running it. With the battery systems getting better and better, there's more that you can collect, store for the rainy days where you don't have that much sun. But then the technology gets better, so now you don't even need any more full sun in order for it to collect sun, right? So that will even on a cloudy day it will still be collecting energy. So it's a really exciting space. Yeah. And because the roof in particular is where most of when it comes to energy efficiency, the roof is the biggest impactor because that's where the sun is pounding on that home, and that's where you need to it's a massive square meterage that needs to be done with, which is also the least visible on the other side, so it offers a lot of opportunity. Yeah. So I think it's really exciting stuff and really exciting to see what's going to happen, and Revolution Roofing being on the front line here. I'm really excited to hear about color bond. Obviously I've been here for 2 years and I get color bond left, right and center. It's exciting to hear that we've got something new in the market, so definitely check that out for those who are watching. It's called Next Steel. Yep. Which I don't know, is there a separate website? Or is that nextsteel.com.au. Check it out. There's a whole bunch of new colours, and we'll be launching a whole bunch of new metallics very soon. And come January, February next year, you'll see new mats as well. So we're very excited about being able to offer something different since 1970. Yeah, the colours of BlueScope hasn't changed. Bit of revolution again. Yeah, a bit of a revolution. You're now the paint experts as well. Love it. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in today and talking to me a little bit about these things. People that are interested in getting some information about Revolution Roofing and what you do, the partner website, you can find Revolution Roofing with the information and a link to their website if you want to connect with you guys. And obviously you'll be hopefully taking some people from the market as well through this house and showcasing and talking about your product moving forward. So good luck. Thank you all again for being part of this project. Sure. And looking forward to see more from you guys.
Good.
Likewise. Thank you.